Hello and welcome to UniVerse Touch. Here, week after week, we shape a new narrative for the world through business. Here, space, in all of our spaces, you can be both spiritual and care for the world, and at the same time, create an extraordinary life for yourself. Today, I would like to talk to you. It's really interesting for me. It's been literally a whole life study, and it feels that since I was born, I was getting ready to speak about the subject, which is the fourth pillar of BaseLine, and it's about emotions. So, before we dive into this super important and so misunderstood pillar of ourselves, I'd like to tell a little bit about my own story and how I learned everything I will be speaking to you about. As a child, I grew up in a family that was very disconnected with their feelings. They didn't know how to name them, they didn't know how to handle them, they didn't know how to express them. There was just a hiding of emotions. At the same time, I'm a person that I found out years later that I am an emotional manifester. Means my emotional world shapes my reality, and especially it can affect very much the people who are around me. So, because I was feeling intuitively this power that my emotions had, and at the same time, I had no tools in my hands of how to express them in a healthy way, I ended up blocking them for a very long period of time. So, from the age of zero until my late 20s, practically, I have been hiding my emotions. And what I realize is that when we start hiding what is inside of us, we block our whole reality. It's very difficult for us to access and live and experience life. So today, I will bring this subject and we will break it down to really start understanding emotions from a different light. Because in our society, emotions are very, very misunderstood. We almost keep them aside. We definitely don't involve them in business. And this is hurting all of us. So, what I have come to realize over the very long studies on my emotional world and the emotional world of my clients is that emotions have particular powers, but they also can become a trap if we approach them in a different way. So, emotions are literally the tool that life has given us to be able to have a compass if we are moving in the right direction or if we need to cross correct. So many times when there's an emotional pressure, when fear comes up, when anger comes up, when sadness comes up, life is trying to tell us that this is not the way. And at the same time, we have feelings of openness, of connection, of nourishment, like really positive feelings. Life is trying to indicate that there is something there for us. So it is a mechanism that we have been given to be able to have this narrative. Though this mechanism needs to be used wisely, because what we tend to do many times is that we intertwine the feeling with our own personal value or with the value of other people. So we either tend to feel angry or feel sad and make it be that we are a sad person. We have been doing everything wrong. And this is not what is really happening. It is not that everything is wrong because we are feeling a negative emotion. It is just a signal that maybe we need to pivot and cross correct. And oftentimes, when we don't have the tools to use our emotions and understand them and dive deeper into them, we also throw them into other people. And it can be thrown as guilt, shame, it can be thrown as anger, blame. And the truth is that no matter the situation that is being caused around us, we are feeling the emotions. That means that is on us. We are the ones who are experiencing this emotion. So maybe somebody did something that triggered that, but if we didn't have it inside of us, we will not feel the emotion whatsoever. I would like to share with you two very powerful examples that are happening in my life simultaneously since yesterday. And there are two very extreme experiences with very different emotional charge. And I am pretty sure that because the universe always creates the tools and gives me the lived experience to be able to bring to you something very deep and like crystallized as wisdom. These two very different contradictory situations are happening in such a close period of time for me to be able to dive deeper into today's theme, which is all about the baseline emotions. So yesterday I was able to experience how a connection with somebody else can create spaciousness when it comes from true sharing and convergence. So when two people are able to open towards each other and not doing it for a reason, not doing it before because there was an agreement, but simply feeling that this space that is being created simultaneously, it's actually supportive. And I can show more of me here. I can bring in more of me here. And I can do that without expecting anything, without waiting for anything. And all of a sudden, when two people or more are allowing themselves to enter a combined space like that, what is really felt is the real closeness. There is intimacy that's being built. And this intimacy allows us to open, like the heart opens up a little bit, the body feels softer, we feel sweeter in our essence, we become more compassionate, we have more space, more bandwidth. So the way we work on that in the universe of Aelia Kos is exactly that way. We allow people to bring who they are. And as many people simultaneously come with this intention into our physical spaces, there is such a collective openness. And this collective openness, especially because in our society right now, we are so used to the opposite of this separation, of the being careful, not saying anything, not being all of it, like just really holding our back all the time. When we enter in a group and we are part of a group that experience this collective interconnectedness in a deeper layer, it really feels that we are building a new backbone. So I have experienced time and again that after our experiences, people feel this inner strength that they can conquer anything. And that doesn't come because we give them tools. That comes because we give them the emotional backbone that I can be who I am and I can be loved for that. And when we have experienced that, our essence starts flourishing more. So we start getting ideas of what we want to do. We feel sure that we can tackle anything because inside our soul is being reestablished that if I was able to be loved from people who barely know me, when I was showing not only my beautiful aspects, but the full spectrum of me, then I can do anything. I'm invincible. And the exact opposite happens when we have experienced severe separation. So while I was having this very profound, very lived, very embodied experience of interconnectedness yesterday, another completely opposite experience came today to really show me the contradiction, because there's always black and white and there's everything in between. So I had the chance to be able to accompany my mother as she was grieving for her life. Like, she's in her late 70s and she's really in a place in her life that she's looking back and saying, that's all, this is my life. Why did I take these steps? Was it a good decision? Was it not? And I realized that I was having in front of me a person that has been alone for her entire life, either because she was really physically alone or because she never allowed other people to enter. So she never dropped the weight of being perfect, of being always in control. So nobody could ever approach, even though she has a family, she has children, husband. Yet this melting into each other, this union that can happen when we open our field and we are who we are with other people and we see them as who they are, without even expecting them to be perfect, but also seeing their beauty and also seeing their challenges and taking it all, taking the full package. So she never allowed herself to drop the control and allow herself to be seen like that. So there was never this connection happening. And I experienced the deep, deep, severe pain and how much we practically hate ourselves for not being able to do that, for being so alone. And the only way we can avoid that to happen, or we can prevent it, or we can revert it if it's already happening, it is by dropping deeper than the emotions into the actual root of the pain or the separation. So I like to joke many times about the emotions, especially when I see there is a fear coming up when women get emotional in the professional world or when very high emotions are being expressed. So I would like to take you into some tools of what emotions actually are, how they are supposed to be approached, and what is beyond emotions. Because as I always like to joke, like, emotions is just the foam and the surface of the deep sea. And it's simply a test for us to be able to navigate. But the true gift, the true treasure lies beyond the surface, in the depths of the ocean, when we really drop into the deep feminine, which is the home of creation. So, one of the first tools that we can use is that emotions are supposed to be informing us. So, let them be. We don't need to change them. They will change on their own because they keep changing very fast, actually, if we allow them to express. The more we repress them, the more they stay in the same frequency. When we start expressing them, all of a sudden they start alchemizing. I remember, for example, a particular example that I would like to bring to you, just to see how it can feel. What is the process of doing so? We were in a beautiful spiritual journey with a private client in Sicily, and we end up sitting next to a gorgeous temple, which was holding a lot of the dragon energy, which is my energy also. So for me, it was a very comfortable space that I could drop deeper. And the client next to me started experiencing very deep emotions. And I see her trying to pull back. And I ask her, do you trust to go deeper, to dive more into it? Like, if the emotion was a ball, instead of trying to throw the ball away, to get rid of it, allow yourself to pierce it and go to the core and keep going to the core. So going more and more and more into it. So she started doing that. And as she started doing that, I would start having an interconnected experience. I was experiencing my body and my mind exactly what was happening. And I see that when she starts pulling down to the core of the emotion, all of a sudden comes the exact opposite. As if you're touching something cold and you get burned. It's exactly the same. When we drop into it instead of avoiding it, the emotions start alchemizing and we start getting the exact opposite. Because actually, very extreme emotions are very close together. But what we usually do is we resist it and then we never drop into that layer. So we keep circulating around of it and we keep feeling the same emotion just because of the fear of what might happen there. So this is one of the biggest fears that I experience with my clients, that what will happen? I have been suppressing my emotion for so long. I am afraid to let them out. And it's a very reasonable fear. But what I've experienced time and again is that, first of all, when you start allowing them to be expressed as they come without suppressing them, they don't come with so much power as if you have been suppressing them for years. So it's very healthy to really allow them to exist the moment that they exist. So let's say you're experiencing a moment of fear. Take a break, take a breath, sit down with yourself and say, I'm now experiencing fear. Not I'm afraid, because I am afraid means that I'm always afraid, and that is not true. You're experiencing fear. The moment you call it in, the moment you call in the fear and you name it, you will already start feeling a twist. Something will start changing, something will start alchemizing. And go deeper and deeper and say, what can I do? How can I experience that deeper without needing to act on it? Start diving into it, and the more you dive into it, you will see that courage, which is the counterpart of fear, will start blossoming from inside that deep state of fear. But you have to drop into it to be able to get the treasure. So allow them to be expressed slowly, so you don't have these huge outbursts. Because what happens in the huge outburst of emotions is that usually there is a lot of smaller emotions intertwined. And we build a story around this. So the first thing is you need to start separating them. Because many times when they get intertwined, they create a narrative that is not very true, and it's also very difficult to dissolve. So start catching the threads and say, okay, the fear is coming from there, the anger is coming from there, the frustration is coming from there, the shame is coming from there, the guilt is coming from there, the blame is coming from there. Give them space. And then start touching each thread separately and allowing to alchemize one by one. Because we intertwine them and we make them a story. And this is the dangerous aspect of emotions. Emotions are informing us about something that we like or we don't in our reality. It is not the whole truth. It is not even our truth. It's just a signal. But if we take the emotion and instead of allowing to exist with it, we start building a story around it, we created an identity. From something that is temporary, we create a permanent identity. And these can exist for a very long time. So we want to try to not do that. You have emotions, feel them, be with them, express them. Don't make a story out of it. Because what will remain to your hands is the story. The emotion will pass by. Emotions actually change quite fast, and especially when we have the tools to work with them. So let them change. They don't need to become part of your identity. So don't take decisions on high emotional states. You know they're not the correct ones. Get the message, integrate the message. Have the message in your mind when you will take decisions, but take decisions with a clear head. So allow the emotions to inform you. Don't make them your narrative, your identity. It is only one part of you. The next moment you will experience very happy emotions. Also, these don't need to be your whole identity. You're not that either all the time. It does definitely help to be able to integrate some of the happiness inside the very challenging emotions, but also allow them to exist separately. So it happens a lot, especially when you're building a business, that you might experience very different states, emotional states, in the same time, same day, even sometimes. So something has broken, something has hurt you, and something is incredible in empowering you. And oftentimes we let one leak into the other. The point is not to make happiness a little bit less and sadness a little bit less. Let them be. You can be both. And by being both, you start stretching and opening your emotional capacity. And as you're stretching your emotional capacity, your whole field and aura is stretching. And as your field and aura is stretching, you can hold more. And guess what? Life tends to bring you more because life knows that it will not break you. You will be able to handle it in the best possible way. So it often happens that you get an emotional challenge right before getting an incredible opening. Or, as experienced these days, we get an emotional supportive energy or state right before getting a more challenging one to have the backbone. So emotions, what a theme, right? Some of you might be suppressing them. Some of you might be ignoring them. Some of you might be able to handle them, but other people around you cannot. Some of you might not even know how to name them. So I would like to suggest that you start diving and getting interested in this theme. Because the most important part of emotions is that they are the doorway to our heart. And the doorway to our heart, when it's closed, it prevents us from experiencing life whatsoever. So, in my case, what was happening is that because of the mishandling and emotions and the very deep emotional world inside of me, so because the outside was completely not capable to manage or teach me about my emotions, but I was experiencing very deep emotions inside, I decided to completely close this door, lock it 3 times, pretend they don't exist. And while that was a safe reaction for the time being, the outcome of that is that it blocked my entire capacity to feel the world. So incredible things were happening. I was like, well, yeah, sure. Bad things were happening. I was also, well, yeah, sure. That's why I have done it, right? Like that was why I have taken this step, which was, it was a mechanism, a coping mechanism to avoid pain, obviously. But what I didn't know is that you cannot only avoid pain, you're also avoiding happiness. And remember the moment in time I am experiencing very deep heartbreak, and I realized that I have 2 options. I have the option to close my heart even further and never again being hurt because my heart will be closed, will not be available for that. Or I can open it more and be ready that there might be another heartbreak. And I just put both options down and say, okay, let's see. What decision I want to take in my life? And I realized that if I close my heart, sure, I will never be hurt again. It will be safe. But what a life would be without feeling ever again, without being in love ever again. And I realized that I actually don't want this life. It will not make sense at all. The other option was to open my heart again and know that it's inevitable that I will be hurt again. But in that moment, I realized I'm willing to take this risk because I cannot imagine a life without love, without connection. I have tried it and it brought me into the borderline of depression. I don't want to do it again. So I should be willing to expect that pain will also be there, but happiness will also be there, and sweetness will also be there, and connection will also be there, and love. And then I decided to open. And yes, of course, like all types of things come to our lives. Like life is all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the incredible. The important aspect with emotions is that emotions actually cannot break us. We can handle all of them. And the more we allow them to be, the more life feels full. Because life feels full from both the hurt and the joy. But if we close to the hurt, we will close to the joy. So it's a choice. As everything in this life is a choice. If you are willing to open more, know that there will be moments that will literally make your heart explode in the most beautiful of the ways. You will see so much beauty. You will experience so much love. You will feel such a deep connection. The world is opening to that. And the more we involve it in business, the more we involve it in relationships, the more we involve it in our content, as I'm doing with you today, the more that becomes the narrative. So in the universe of Aelia Kos, this is one of our roles. We are establishing a new narrative by living it. So this week I had the deep realization that there's no trying or proving anything. We are doing it. What I'm speaking to you today, I have been walking in my whole life, in these 2 last days even more. It's always scary and it's always worth it. That's the truth. So we bring that into business. In our experiences, all types of emotions are welcome to be expressed in the right time, in the right container, to the right people. When that happens, first of all, many times we see that in the collective filter, in a group, oftentimes when something comes stronger as an emotion in one of the people, it is a collective emotion that many of the others are feeling, but somebody is more capable to express them. So they become the catalyst, they become the vessel for this entire group to alchemize. And when the alchemization happens in a group, it's just completely next level of healing. Many times you don't even need to deal with that anymore in your life. It's deeper than even dealing with that alone or with a healer, with a professional. So we include them in the process, because as soon as that happens, clarity comes. We allow the clouds of emotion to dissolve into rain. We let it rain. We let it water the seeds we have already planted. And then new plants come out of clarity and vision and connection and truth. So emotions have this deep, deep, deep power to do that if we handle them correctly. So the narrative we are establishing, it's not supposed to make you a robot, rather the opposite. It's supposed to remind us the full spectrum of being a human and how more of that will allow our world to be a place that we are proud of, we feel part of, we create a legacy that we say, we did that, and it feels incredible. So our generation is fighting for that, is fighting to change and break down everything that is not well done, that is not correct. And one of those aspects, it is the way we have been separating this fundamental aspect of us, which is emotions. Think of it like that. Nature is very wise in the ways that it uses energy. Why would it install this entire system of emotions and emotional world in humans if we were not meant to experience them? There's no point. They will not do that. Like, nature doesn't waste resources. So there is a deep, deep reason why we have that. We might as well want to evolve it as we have been evolving the other aspects of us. What I have seen is that while my mind is very powerful, when my emotions are not in the right place, the impact is very small. It's electric. It's very fast, short. I feel that many things are doing, but the ripple is not so big. When I bring those two together and I connect the mind and the emotions, so the brain and the heart, the ripple just creates a gigantic wave. And if you are here to create these waves in the world, these waves of positive change, these waves of humanity in its best version, both need to come together. And for both to come together in your work, both need to come together inside of you. I am extremely excited because we are preparing for our next UniVerse experience here in Greece, and it will be hosted in a space that has this incredible blend. It is close to the sacred site of Abydos, and that's where the ancients were healing the body through medicine and the soul through theater. So this place still holds the remembrance of this union, that one aspect without the other is not healthy. And when these two come together, it is actually when true creation happens. So the emotions, as I very lightly referred to it before, is literally the crash test. Is the crash test to see if we are ready to drop into the void. And the void, while as a word might indicate emptiness, it is actually exactly the opposite. It is the womb of creation. It is exactly where life happens. So when we drop into this void, into this creative, powerful energy altogether, because we have been able to clarify the field of emotions, because we are able to handle them, we are given allowance to go down there, the most incredible things tend to happen. What I have observed is that when we drop into this layer, especially when we do it as a group, as we're doing in the UniVerse experiences, the deepest, most secret, and most profound desires of each person involved tend to manifest in our lives, and usually real fast. So it is a direct signal to the universe that we are ready, we are open, we know how to hold it, bring it on. And it's very interesting to observe that even if we haven't expressed it with words, because our soul and what we desire communicates directly with the universe, it manifests anyway. So people come into our lives with the right keys. Resources manifest out of nowhere. Things happen, steps are taken, words are being spoken that feel that is exactly what we have been asking for. So I feel that this connection with our emotions is actually bringing us into this deep, profound dialogue with the universe, with the whole, with the one, with the field. We become part of it purely. And when that happens, life opens in the most magnificent of the ways. I'm smiling because I'm thinking that for our next experience that's happening in about 3 weeks, I have been receiving the code that this will be one of the most powerful experience we have ever created over the many, many years. It's been almost 8 years of creating experiences. And I'm smiling because I know the power that can be held down there. I know what can be manifested, and yet I'm always surprised. My role is to be able to allow each participant to clear out from all the baggage that doesn't need to be there anymore, to give them tools to be able to express and handle emotions so we can all drop down there. And when there it happens, it just feels incredible. It feels sweet, it feels held, it feels right, it feels incredible. There's no fear whatsoever down there, even though the word womb of creation or the void can indicate something different. Actually, there is everything is in the right place at the right time with the right people. And our soul comes back a little bit more in its position. Like, we drop deeper into who we are, what we're doing here, what are we doing it for, and what we actually really want. And when you're able to wish from this place, oh my God, just magic, magic. So I'm looking forward to any of you would like to join us. We still have very few spots left. So if you're interested in that, please connect with me either here or on LinkedIn, Instagram as Aelia Kos, or just comment here and I'll come back to you with more information. Because these profound experiences can only be lived under specific circumstances. So we are creating the circumstances so that more of you can have this allowance, can have the tools, can have the space to undergo this profound transformation that is also so sweet and so genuine and so natural at the same time. So emotions, that has been the theme of today. I'm really, really curious what has sparked in you. If there is any insights, realizations, real stories, please share them with me. I love receiving other stories that have been sparked from my words because that's how we are building the narrative. I'm taking the first step, I'm initiating this thread, but the most important is that we continue it all together. That's how we're going to be able to make this more beautiful world the norm, where you can also be spiritual, you can be wealthy, you can live extremely beautifully, you can help others, you can be involved in life, you can feel, you can experience your emotions, you can share them, you can create, you can build, you can earn, you can invest, you can do all of it. The more we remove the layers, the more of it we are. And this is wonderful. So looking forward to hear your insights, your comments, your stories. And for the next episode, I will keep it secret. I will keep secret the theme of the next one. It will be same time, same place, here on YouTube next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time. Please check your time zone. But I will keep it secret. So be here, be with me. It's always a new theme. We're going to be starting a new month. This is going to be a completely new sequence, but you need to be here. And if you tend to forget the times or merge the time zones, get confused, you can subscribe and press the notification, because then it sends you an email that we have announced the next episode and we're about to go live. So it's very easy for you to join. You can find the direct link. You don't need to search and all of that. Thank you. It's been an honor to be opening that to you, to be opening that to the world. It's a thing that is so little discovered and explored that I'm always like shocked. So it is about time. Let's do that. And looking forward to see you next week.